Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Devin, and today I'm going to be talking about how I became pretty depressed after I got top surgery. I didn't become depressed as a byproduct of the surgery itself. It's not anything like regretting the surgery. Obviously, I'm here. I had it. I love it. I'm beyond happy with my results at this point. After top surgery, I honestly felt weak. I felt vulnerable, and I was not super happy with my results at that moment. Now, hell yeah, brother. Like, I'm in there. I feel amazing about my results. I love my chest. The only thing that I may want to get done on my chest is medical tattooing for my nipples to kind of fill in some spots where the melanin did not come through. I had some people tell me, like, be patient with the medical tattooing, give yourself at least a year or two, and we're coming up on 3 years in November of me being post-op, and baby, the melanin has not come back. But ultimately, I am thinking of just getting this area filled in. Obviously, this nipple was like smaller than this one, so I would want to get that matching. Aside from that, I'm totally happy with my results. However, I didn't always feel that way. Now, before I get into this, if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, a custom meal plan, or a custom training plan, feel free to check out my website. It's going to be linked down below. And on that website link, you will also find free guides such as my testosterone blood work guide, my supplement guide, and my grocery shopping guide. Let's go ahead and get into the video. I got top surgery November 23rd of 2022. I hope to God I'm right, because I think that's correct. I was dieting my ass off to get top surgery because I wanted as much fat to be gone from my chest as possible and to reveal as much pecs as possible. And I was pretty successful. I would say if there's one thing that I could change about my process with my body leading up to top surgery is I would have put myself in a maintenance phase for at least 2 to 3 weeks leading up to surgery so that my ghrelin and leptin levels were a little bit even and I wasn't freaking starving, because that definitely impacted my mindset in post-op recovery, right? I got top surgery done. Everything went well. The doctor was happy with, the results. I was happy with the scar placement mostly. However, I was pretty disappointed because my chest deflated like none other. And I felt like I lost most of the muscle mass that I ever had in my chest. And at my reveal, I'm fucking disappointed. And I'm doing everything that I possibly can to not look disappointed, because the doctor did his job, right? Like, the nurses did everything they could to take care of me. My girlfriend at the time, fiance now, did everything she could to take care of me, and I felt like I didn't want it to show on my face that I was disappointed, but I just felt like my chest went from being like this nice filled out, juicy chest, because I had all that muscle mass, to just being a fucking deflated popped balloon in a matter of like a week. And it pissed me off, and it made me frustrated, and it made me upset, right? Another thing that happened as a byproduct of surgery, I became incredibly inflamed and bloated. I blew up like a puffer fish, and to this day, I don't think I've ever seen anyone have that reaction to surgery as like I did. Through all the trans guys and trans mass people that I've seen get surgery, my midsection, my stomach, my skin, I was puffy as hell, and that's just because I was sliced open, and that's how my body reacted. However, I wasn't in a sound kind of headspace. I was in a hyper emotional headspace because so much change had just happened. So my immediate response, and kind of a byproduct of dieting for so long leading up to top surgery, was to push harder with dieting. While I was in recovery from top surgery, unable to train, unable to do anything to promote, maintaining muscle mass, and my kind of coping eating disorder mindset around that was, well, I'm not working out, so my energy expenditure is not that high, so I don't need as many calories. So I was eating 1,700-ish calories, maybe 1,900 calories if I was like feeling myself and being nice to myself, and I was walking around 10 to 12,000 steps a day. I would walk to a grocery store near my house called Nutrition Smart, and I would get myself like high fiber, low calorie muffins that were like 70 calories for a 2-pack, which is freaking beyond crazy. And I became skinnier and skinnier, and I became scrawnier and scrawnier. And I didn't at that point realize that a lot of my identity was tied to my physique and was tied to my body until I left my home, right? My sister-in-law asked my fiance now and I to watch her dogs while she was going out of town. So we drove up to a different part of the state. We went to like malls and stuff, and I think I was about 3 weeks post-op. That was my first time being out in the real world after top surgery, after dieting myself into the ground, after walking entirely too much. And I felt fucking scared. I felt like if the wind blew, it would blow me away with it, right? I could barely open a door, partly because, you lose a little bit of range of motion and it hurts to flex your chest post-op. But I literally was also weak, guys. Like, I believe from pre-op to post-op, I lost around 12 to 16 pounds. I made a post about this on Instagram about a year ago. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I lost a shit ton of weight, and a lot of people didn't believe me. They were like, no, you didn't. Yes, surely. Some of that was the fat that I had on my chest. Some of that was water weight. An overwhelming amount of that was muscle mass. I lost an overwhelming amount of muscle mass. Clothes that previously fit me, filled out, that was tight on my body, I was swimming in the clothes. And it made me hate myself. It made me feel disgusted with myself. I felt weak, and I felt almost like the same mindset that I was in before I was able to start testosterone and when I was living in my abusive household. You know, back then I felt weak and I felt like I wasn't powerful and like I didn't have control of my body. And because I let myself slip into that state post-op with food, being overly obsessed with like not gaining fat, I felt like I was in the same physical and mental mind state as well. And it really fucked with me. And it wasn't until I was able to get back into the gym and start lifting again and allowed myself to eat more food, which was hard within itself, that I was able to start to feel more like myself. You know, even to this day, it's hard for me to allow myself to gain body fat. Luckily, I have been pushing myself to do more work on unlearning fat phobia. That's where a lot of it is tied from. My self-worth being needing to be seen as attractive to other people in order to feel respected and to feel validated. And a lot of my self-worth deriving from being told that I was ugly or not desirable when I was younger and wanting to prove the world wrong, to the point where like I would feel scared to gain body fat. You know, I'd feel scared for my jaw to go into hibernation with bulking. And I'm very proud of myself for this past year of bulking. In 2024, I spent the entire year of bulking. And to some, that may seem like a bodybuilder coded endeavor, and surely it was, because it was for the purpose to build muscle, but it was also a practice for me to step outside of my shell and step outside of my kind of hiding behind my abs and forcing myself to feel okay with not being fucking shredded. And through that, I almost felt like I was healing a part of myself. You know, that post-op Devin who fucking starved himself, and Devin from before who used to starve himself as well. I've made a vow to myself. I'm not going to purposefully starve myself because I don't think that I deserve to eat. Like right now, I'm in a bodybuilding prep for competition and my food intake is lower. When I feel hunger cues, I'm not enjoying it. I'm saying it's part of the game. I'm not pushing my food off a little bit longer so I could feel hungry for a little bit longer and just to prove to myself that I can be tougher, because those are things that I used to do, right? My meal time used to be, for example, like 6:30 p.m. and I'd be like, nah, go to 6:45, bro. Like, prove that you can do it. I refuse. I'm not doing that anymore. And I am gonna be bulking again in 2026. And I think that it's my very probably rare experience of that post-op kind of issue that allows me to be so expressive with my clients. I work with them either up into top surgery and post-op, and I get a lot of people who just had top surgery and are coming to me post-op. And sometimes I do see little tendencies of people wanting to diet too much or not wanting to build as much muscle as they know that they can. When you've experienced things, I've experienced everything that you could possibly think of with your body. I've experienced restrictive eating. I've experienced binge eating, like to the degree that you guys don't fucking even understand how much I've binge eaten, right? Or how much I fucking starved myself, right? I've experienced everything you can think of: overtraining, undertraining, telling yourself you're a piece of shit, telling yourself you could train harder, telling yourself, oh no, I got this, I can train every single day. And I think that that nuance is what allows me to connect with other people. And even making videos like this, someone understands what I'm saying. Like, one of y'all get what I'm saying. And that's kind of just the whole point of this, right? I was depressed for potentially, I would say, maybe 6 to 8 weeks post-op, and it was tough. And the way that I was coping with my depression was by moving my body, because that helps me, but I was doing it too much. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And there was a time post-op where I thought, damn bro, like, did I make the right decision? Should I have done this? Like, I was okay before, but I'm so much better now. Hindsight is 2020, it's everything. And I'm glad that I have that perspective, even if it's in retrospect. If you do not yet follow me on Instagram, I'm posting all my bodybuilding prep updates there, all of my thirst traps, all of my making fun of hate comments there. So check it out. It's at DVNSPRS, but that's also gonna be linked down below. And like I always say, Devin loves you, Devin's a Dawn, and Devin is out of here, boy.